Carlos Nelson with Cascade Sports. And tonight we have one of the top point guards in the state of Kansas and Missouri, Mr. Andrell Butler. Did I pronounce your name correctly, Butler?
It's Andrell Burton.
Burton. Boy, I'm starting again because I messed that up. Andrell Burton. Usually I say, because the old man's mine, I'd be like, who do we have here? And then you say your own name. If you watch a lot of my interviews, because be going so fast, I don't like messing people's name up. That's what I'll do with you. I'll describe, the situation that you played in. Then I'll say, who do we have here? And then I'll say, tell our audience a little bit about yourself. You did well. You started in the 7th grade, but where was you at in the 7th grade?
In the 7th grade, I went to Truesdale Middle School.
Don't you want to give them some props? That's what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. Don't you want people to know where you came from and how you reached to where you're at?
Yes.
That's the story you're telling. And I'm coaching you a little because y'all will get on and say I was in the 7th grade, the 8th grade, but people don't know between the 8th and 9th grade you transferred. From the 9th to 10th grade you transferred. And so try to remember that when you're telling your story.
Okay,
to say where you were at. Like, not, because when you was a freshman, you was there and then you said something else. So we good to go now? All right. Carlos Nelson with Cascade Sports. And tonight we have one of the top guards, point guards, plays the 1 and the 2 in the state of Kansas and Missouri. Who do we have here?
Andrell Burton Jr.
Hey, Burton, tell our audience a little bit about yourself. Before you do, I want to give them a little backdrop. This summer on Juneteenth, Cascade Sports had a special event that you had to be invited to, and we had the top players from Missouri and Kansas and the 221 classes to the 225 classes. And I didn't realize that Burton had played with, what class did you play with?
2024.
The 2024 class until we got on this. Because I was asking him, what's your qualifications for being this top guard or this top what have you? And he was real modest, but when we had that event, we hired a scouting service to pick the top players from Missouri and Kansas. And he's the real deal. So talk to our audience a little bit about who you are and how you become engaged in the sport.
Okay, so my name is Andrell Burton Jr. I started playing basketball when I was 7th grade at Truesdale Middle School. When I first started playing, I was like 5'10", so they put me in as big man. So my first 3 years of playing first basketball, I played big man. And then my freshman year is when I started getting guard skills because they talked to me about in the NBA, all the guards are 6'3" or taller. And I was only like 5'10", 5'11". So I started working on that. And then as I progressed in basketball, I got better. And
you say, excuse me. So you say as a freshman, you noticed that really you had to have ball handling skill. You say I started working on that. What did you start working on?
Mainly, I would work on my ball handling. Then I would do footwork and get shots up after.
How important do you think that has been
in
who you?
It's paid off a lot, but I believe that when you play basketball, you're going to need to be able to do all that to make it to the higher level, to play at the higher level of basketball to get to the NBA.
So your freshman year, where were you at?
Campus high school.
Campus. Did you get playing time?
At the beginning, I played JV for 3 quarters a night and suited up varsity. And towards the end of the year, I started starting for varsity.
for varsity.
Mhm.
What on a 1 to 10? What would you say your ball handling skills were or are?
When I first, like freshman year, I say they were at probably a 7, maybe, because we had a point guard on our team, so I wouldn't have to bring up the ball. But sometimes in the situations I had the ball and I had to dribble, or sometimes I would get the ball stolen from me because my dribbling is not that good at that time.
And what did you do to? How did you deal with that?
So all summer after my freshman year, all summer I just trained every day with my basketball coach for 2 hours every day on just ball handling.
Do you have a crossover, son? Have you developed a crossover?
Yes.
On a 1 to 10, what would you gauge that?
I say right now it's at 8. It's looking pretty good.
It's looking good? It's looking good? Yeah. In the game that you played this summer, did you know any of the kids that were on the team? They were supposed to be some of the best sophomores. I
knew 2 people.
How do you feel you match up against some of them? And have you played against any of the teams? Did y'all see? I don't know what took place. Did y'all have any type of camaraderie as sportsmen? Talking to one another, looking forward to playing one another. You did?
Yes. All right. So we knew that we both were going to the game. So we just talked about it, and we said if we're on the same team, we're gonna play good together. If we're not on the same team, we're going at each other's heads.
Don't you think the crowd, not having the crowd, affected y'all's play? If the gym would have been full, I think players would have been playing hard at that event.
Yes, I really do, because it was like quiet in there, so nobody was putting as much effort as we should have.
Yeah, but I thought it was a good event. So yeah. So this year, what's your ambitions, and have you set any personal goals for yourself to reach this year? Did you hear me?
This year I've set goals to make it to the state championship again, as we did last year in 6A.
No, I'm saying your personal goals.
My personal goals?
Yeah.
How many personal goals are to average a double-double all season and not let my man score me at all.
So you plan to tighten your defense up?
Yes.
Tell me this. Do you go hard in the paint, or do you tiptoe through the tulips?
No, I go hard in the paint. I usually try and finish everything at the rim if I can. And if I can, I'm gonna try and run the man over and still score.
Do you got that dunk shot under control?
Oh.
That dunk shot, going hard in the paint. Some cats go hard in the paint. They're not even trying to lay it up. They just trying to sky on you. Oh, your internet is freezing up.
This program is brought to you by the City of Fountains Coaches Association.